Have you ever wondered, why am I always the one who gets overlooked, ignored, or disrespected, even though I have done nothing wrong? If you've ever felt like a shadow in your own life, this video is for you. Because there is a truth that most people are never taught. Right finger, the world doesn't treat you the way you want it to, but the way you allow it to. For years, we have been taught that if we want to be loved, listened to, valued, we have to be kinder, give more, and be patient. But perhaps no one has told you the opposite. Because you are too patient. Because you always please others, they no longer value you. I know that sounds painful, but it's true. Because in this society, people don't react to your words, they react to the energy you emit. If you walk into a room with a reserved look, an uncertain gaze, and a willingness to compromise, you are implicitly telling the world, I have no standards. And so, the world responds to you in exactly the same way. You don't have to change others to be respected. You just need to change the way you treat yourself. It sounds simple, but it is the foundation of every relationship in life, from work, family to love. Remember this. Right finger, you teach others how to treat you, not by words, but by what you accept every day. There is a friend of mine, very kind, very talented, but always in the background. At work, she is always the one taking on extra work because everyone thinks she can't say no. In love, she always tries to please her lover, endures lack of attention and vague promises, for fear that if she speaks up, she will lose everything. And then what happened? She not only lost faith in others, she also lost faith in herself. That's when she learned something. If you don't respect yourself first, don't expect anyone else to do it for you. And the moment she began to set boundaries, began to say no, began to withdraw from places where she was not appreciated, she realized something magical. People began to change the way they looked at and treated her. I want you to feel it too. And to start, you don't have to do anything big. Just try one of these 6 incredibly simple yet powerful things, which I'm going to share with you in this video. They are not behavioral tips, not communication tricks. They are a manifestation of something much deeper. Right finger, internal force. Right finger, living standards. Right finger, and how you define yourself in the eyes of the world. You don't have to change your whole personality. Just start with one action, one time. And when you see how the world responds to that small change, you won't want to go back. Trust me. So, what exactly are those 6 things? And how can you get started today? Let's get into the first thing, something that if you try it once, people will never dare to look down on you again. Have you ever wondered, why would that person talk to me like that? Why am I always the one being looked down upon and taken advantage of, even though I treat them very well? If you've ever had those questions, let me be honest, not because you don't deserve it, but because you allowed it to happen. Sounds unbelievable? But let me tell you a truth that no one wants to talk about. In psychology, there is a concept called mirroring behavior. It means the way you treat yourself will be an example for others to follow. If you always forgive disrespect, if you stay silent when you are slighted, if you try to justify others when they hurt you, you are actually training them to say, you can continue like this, I won't do anything. Once, I had a friend, very kind, always helping others. But the kinder she was, the worse she was treated. She said that some people even took advantage of her kindness, to the point of taking it for granted. And the most heartbreaking thing is, she knows it, but still endures it, for fear of losing the relationship. We often think silence is noble, but in fact, in the eyes of others, it is consent. But if you act like a person of value, others will adjust accordingly. They will be more careful. They will not dare to be easy on you. Have you ever noticed that? In a store, the more expensive the product, the more carefully protected, the more prominently displayed. As for the cheap stuff, it's displayed everywhere. Anyone who wants to touch or try it can. You too. You set your own price through the way you conduct yourself every day. If you always say yes to all invitations, even when they exhaust you, if you dare not refuse for fear of being hated, if you let others constantly be late, break promises, and you still smile, still say, "It's okay," then you are accidentally pasting a sign on your forehead. I'm easy. I don't have any standards. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't need to explain. You don't need to apologize. You just need to be clear about what's worth it to you, and what isn't. Many people are afraid to set boundaries because they think it is selfish, cold, or that it will upset others. But the truth is, boundaries don't hurt nice people. Boundaries only make people who take advantage of you feel uncomfortable. When you have no limits, you are like a free gift. Anyone can take it, but no one really appreciates it. On the contrary, people with clear boundaries, although they may be misunderstood at first, in the long run, they will be deeply respected. You don't need to yell or threaten anyone. Just know your limits, and be determined not to let anyone cross them. So, if you've ever felt hurt by being treated badly, take a look at how you are treating yourself. Take a look at the price you are placing on your worth every day. And most importantly, start setting boundaries. Not to push anyone away, but to keep what deserves to stay. Do you ever feel like you are always chosen last? In your group of friends, you are the one who only gets called when the others are free. At work, you are the one who is assigned the extra part. The difficult part, the part that no one wants to do. In love, you are the one who loves more, tries harder, but is also the one who is most likely to be abandoned. You don't understand why. You're always good, always kind, always willing. And that is the problem. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because you don't set the bar high enough for yourself. And when you live without standards, the consequences don't come immediately, but they insidiously ruin everything. The truth is, people tend to value what is rare, clear, and consistent. If you don't have a stance, no boundaries, no way of showing what is off limits for you, then in the eyes of others, you are nothing more than a backup plan. No one prioritizes someone who doesn't prioritize themselves. Remember, people don't love you because you are always there. People love you because your presence is valuable. And that value cannot come if you keep saying yes, doing everything, accepting everything. Do you know why other people easily ignore your feelings? Because you do it too. When you don't dare to say you're sad, disappointed, hurt, when you smile and say, "It's okay," while inside you're falling apart. You are inadvertently telling the world, my feelings don't matter. And the world will listen to you. They will believe you are okay. Even when you are falling apart. They will continue to be indifferent, not because they are evil, but because you never asked for kindness in action. Your emotional value will never be recognized. If you are the first to ignore it, ask yourself, in how many relationships are you the one who always gives first? You take the initiative to text. You think of ways to surprise. You tolerate the other person's indifference. Just because you understand and sympathize. You always have to do more to keep the interest. If you see yourself in these stories, then my condolences. You are not in love. You are trying to be loved. That's not love. That's a trade-off. The more you give, the more they receive, but they don't know how to appreciate it. Why? Because you have turned love into an unbalanced game where you are always the one trying to be chosen. But true love does not need to be proven by one-sided efforts. You don't have to do more to be worthy. You just have to be yourself, and hold yourself to the same standards. If you ever feel overlooked, replaced, forgotten, stop and ask, have I ever set any standards for myself? Do I allow others to cross my line, just to keep them in? Am I living with my true feelings, or am I hiding them just to be loved? You don't need to change everything today. But let's start with one thing. Respect yourself, by setting standards. Because when you change the way you accept to be treated, you change all the relationships around you. There are moments in life when you realize that it is not others who need to change, but you who need to change. You are tired of being overlooked, of being overwhelmed, of being hurt. And you may think that to regain your position in the eyes of others, you need to try harder, to prove yourself more, but the truth is, you don't need to do more, you just need to do it right. The first thing you should try is to stop trying to explain everything you do. How many times in your life have you started a sentence with, I didn't mean anything bad. I just wanted to. And how many times have you found that it didn't change anything? Truly strong people don't need to prove themselves. They let their actions speak for themselves. Next time, when you are misunderstood, when someone misjudges you, keep quiet and continue doing what you choose to do. Silence at the right time is not weakness, but strength that makes others look at you in a different light. There will be times when you are offended. When someone says something that makes your blood boil, the first reaction is usually to want to fight back, to want to respond to get even. But at that moment, if you stay calm, you win. The person who is easily drawn into emotions is the easiest to manipulate. On the other hand, the person who remains calm even in chaos is the one with real power. Next time, try looking at the person who offended you with eyes that are not angry, not justifying, just the eyes of someone who knows their worth. You will see that they are more confused than what you say. There are invitations that come to you that are trade-offs. They don't respect your time, your energy, or the path you're on. But you feel guilty about saying no, and so you add, sorry, but you don't have to apologize for choosing yourself. A gentle, polite no, without over-explaining, is how you tell the world you're in control of your life. When you respect your time, others will learn to do the same. And this, it could be the most powerful thing you'll ever do. Stand up and leave a place where you're not being respected. Many people stay, hoping that someone else will change. But every minute you stay in a conversation, a relationship, or an environment that makes you feel small, you're allowing it to continue. Try this. When someone puts you down, don't say anything. Just stand up, smile, and leave. You'll be surprised how many eyes are on you, not because you were loud, but because you did something that very few people dare to do. And don't forget, there's one more important thing. You need to learn to reset your boundaries directly, but without anger. When someone crosses a line, look at them and say, "I'm not comfortable with the way you're speaking." Be brief, calm. You don't need to confront anyone. Your clarity is enough to let them know you're not going to cross that line again. Ultimately, even if no one is on your side, you have to learn to stand up for yourself. You may feel alone. You may feel like no one understands. But don't give up on your standards. Stand tall. Stand firm in your convictions that you are living up to what you believe is right. And if you don't give up on yourself, no one else will. You don't have to change the world. You just have to change how you react to it. 6 simple things. But if you dare to try, even just once, things will start to change. And the first person to feel the difference is you. The best thing about changing isn't that other people notice you're different. It's that you feel like you're not the same person anymore. When you start applying these 6 simple but powerful things, not trying to please everyone, not explaining too much, not sitting around being disrespected, not saying yes when you want to say no, you'll start to see the world turn around in subtle but noticeable ways. People start listening to you more, not because you talk louder, but because you stop talking so much. Before, you may have tried to use words to prove your point, to convince others of your feelings. But now you act clearly and decisively. And you realize that silence at the right time is worth more than 1,000 explanations. When you know when to speak and when to hold back, your words become more valuable than ever. People start asking for your opinion more often, because they sense that you're not easily swayed. You don't say no to everything just to keep the peace. When you say no, you say it with confidence and without feeling apologetic. That makes your words more trustworthy. When people see that you're not so pushy, they start to respect your choices, and they want to hear your thoughts before making important decisions. Another strange thing that happens is that you become more attractive. You don't have to change your appearance. You don't have to stand out or talk too much. You just have to live up to your standards. There is a magnetic energy about people who have high standards, who know how to withdraw from disrespect, who know when to shut up and when to say no. It's a magnetic energy that comes from being stable, not loud, but impossible to ignore, because in a world full of people who are trying to be accepted, you are the only one who isn't begging for it. And then one day you suddenly realize that some of the people who were once so close to you have gradually disappeared. But instead of feeling sad, you feel relieved, because when you raise your standards, those who only stayed because you were easy will automatically leave. It's not a loss, it's a cleansing. You begin to see who really deserves to be in your life, not because they always agree with you, but because they respect the values you stand for. The less drama you have, the more time you have for what matters. You don't have to tire yourself out explaining, waste energy on toxic relationships, or feel like you always have to, deserve, love. When you're true to yourself, everything becomes easier. You don't need to hold anyone back. You don't need to chase anything. You just keep going, and let the things that are worth it find you. That's the real effect of 6 small, life-changing things. It doesn't turn you into someone else, it turns you into yourself. A version that doesn't need to accept disrespect. A version that doesn't need to play a role. A version that knows what it needs, what it deserves, and is strong enough to hold its own. If you've already started, stick with it. If you're still hesitant, give it a try. Just one try. You'll see how the world responds to the new you. And you won't want to go back. Real change isn't about the occasional big move. It's about the quiet consistency, every day, every choice, every little response. When you start living by your own standards. When you walk away from places that don't respect you. When you learn to say no without apology. That's a start. But keeping it going is the hardest part. And the most important part. Remember this first. Don't expect things to change overnight. Don't expect to become stable, strong, and steadfast. Overnight, you will have your moments of failure. There will be times when you back down, when you soften, when you react the same way you did before. But that doesn't mean you're not making progress. On the journey of change, every time you pick yourself up after losing your boundaries, you rebuild them stronger than before. It's like learning to stand up straight after years of keeping your head down. Your body will hurt. Your mind will hesitate, but just keep doing it. Because real change comes from doing the right thing over and over again, without notice, without praise. You don't have to tell anyone, "I'm changing," or "I'm becoming a better version of myself." Just be quiet, but act differently every day. Just be calmer, clearer, and more consistent in who you choose to be. That's enough. Some people will not see it. Some will doubt you, tease you, even push you back into your old self. But let your silence be your answer. Let the way you hold your boundaries be the most powerful statement of who you are becoming. You don't have to react. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to keep going, steadily and consistently. And most importantly, learn to love yourself properly. It's not about shopping to feel good. It's not about putting on a mask or eating healthy for a day and then giving up. It's about knowing very clearly how you should not be treated. Loving yourself is when you know when to stop. It's when you don't allow others to hurt you, even with small words. It's when you protect your energy, your time, your emotions, not because you're selfish, but because you know its value. Self-love doesn't come from indulgence. It comes from discipline, from the boundaries you set to protect your mind, from saying no to things that make you tired, even though you may be used to it, and from telling yourself every day, "I deserve better." So if you've started to change, don't stop. Don't go back to who you were just because it's easier. Remind yourself, you're not trying to be perfect. You're just being true to who you really are, the strong, clear self that knows what you deserve and won't settle for anything less. No need to be fast. Just be real. No need for noise. Just consistency. You don't need everyone to understand. You just need to understand what you're doing, and why. Life doesn't change because of big, flashy things. It changes because of those small moments, when you dare to do something you've never done before. The 6 things you just heard in this video aren't psychological strategies. persuasion techniques, or communication tricks. They're behaviors. They come from a place of real inner strength. They're when you choose to stop over-explaining. They're when you choose to stay silent in the face of insult. Say no when you need to. Stand up when you're overlooked. Re-establish boundaries. And stand up for yourself, even when no one else will. You might be thinking, isn't that too strong? Will it make me seem cold and distant? No, because what you're doing isn't pushing anyone away, it's pulling yourself closer to your true worth. We live in a world where everyone tries to be loved by being nice, likable, acceptable, but the more nice you are, the more you are ignored. And the more you try to be loved, the more you lose yourself. Instead, step back, quietly choose a new standard for yourself. It doesn't have to be fancy, just clear. Start with one action, one different reaction, one time saying no without apologizing. One time walking away from a place where you're being disrespected without explanation. One time declining an invitation you know is inappropriate. One time saying, "I'm not comfortable with this." One time standing up, not for anyone else, but for yourself. The world will not change immediately, but it will silently respond to the energy you emit. Like a mirror. You face it with confidence. It will reflect back exactly the same. People will sense that you are not easily manipulated. You are not easily hurt just because someone disagrees with you. You don't live to be loved, you live to be yourself. And that makes you attractive. That makes you stable. That makes you irreplaceable. You don't have to start with a big change. Just try it once, just once, and see the difference for yourself. Once you do, you won't want to go back to the old you. Not because you hate the old you, but because you realize you deserve a stronger, freer, and more peaceful version of yourself. The journey to becoming a powerful person doesn't come in giant leaps. It comes in small choices, small actions, small reactions, small limits, and you'll see, the people who are truly worthy of you will stay. The opportunities that are right for you will come, and most importantly, you can hold your head up high without having to put up any more. Because you have become someone who knows who you are, and you don't need anyone's permission to live that. So, go for it, one time, and then, watch the magic happen. If you recognize what you just heard, deep down you know it's time to make a change. Don't let this video be just a passing inspiration. Take action, today, right now. Please click like if you feel what is shared touches you. Share this video with someone who also needs a push to stand up for themselves. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos, where we will build inner strength together. Learn how to set boundaries, and live up to our true values.